Welcome to Willow's Witchy Garden. Today we are going to transplant some basil. I'm going to show you how easy it is to separate your little basil seedlings and up-pot them into the next size container. Looks can be deceiving, folks. This may look like a pan of brownies ready to go in the oven, but I assure you this is seed starting mix. I have it covered with plastic wrap and it's in a glass dish. I'm going to be putting this into the microwave for 2 minutes. We're going to kill any fungus gnat eggs that might be in it. Then I'm going to have boiling water to moisten the soil so that we can pot up our little basil seedlings. So let's get started. So our next step after we have gotten our soil mix cooled to room temperature, because of course we don't want to use it hot, and we've just steamed it in the microwave for 2 minutes and then poured boiling water on it. It has now killed all those fungus gnats, but we still had to have it cool. We don't want to damage our little plants. So this is one that I've already potted up just so you can see what I'm going to be doing. These are Persian basil. Now, you can use these little 4-inch pots. I buy these on Amazon. I got like 150 of them for like 11 or 12 bucks. You could also just use a solo cup. I drill holes in the bottom with my drill. So there's a couple of options, but the whole idea is when we get our little seedlings and they start to fill in this little pot so much that you've got to get them out. You've got to get them separated. Now, I plant mine really thick. Now, the reason I do that is because the seeds are so tiny. I want to make sure I get some germination. And I know I can separate them when I need to. So that's what I'm going to do now. I just loosen up the soil and then I pull them out. Make sure that you have watered them recently because we want to make sure that it doesn't fall apart when we pull it out. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of look here, see the middle, and I'm just going to pull those apart gently. And now I have 2 separate pieces. So now I'm going to get my pot filled with some soil and we'll get these planted. Okay, so I've filled my little pots here with that moistened soil. I have my little group of seedlings. I've made a small indent in the center here to fit these little guys down in there. Now I'm going to just kind of bring some of that soil around and I'm going to grab a little bit more. So we want to make sure they're in there nice and secure. We don't want to firm it down too much because we don't want to damage the roots, but we want them to have good contact with the soil. And so there we have the first one. And I'll take the next one and do the same thing. Just kind of get that soil touching that little root ball. And then fill in a little bit. And there we go. Now we want to make sure that when we're going to be transplanting that our seedlings are at least this tall. These are probably about inch and a half tall. They also have their first true leaves. Now when we see them first pop up, you see this little one right there? He got in there a little early. You can see his true leaves in the center, but they're not fully developed like these are. So it's going to be important that you wait until you get them so that most of them are at least this big. Because I have some here, this Momolo just isn't quite big enough. Now this is a stockier type of plant anyway, but I'm going to wait for a few more days before I up-pot that one. But I have one more group of Persian basil to do today and then I'll be done. So I hope you got something out of this so that you're not afraid to pull your little seedlings apart if you plant them heavy. That's perfectly fine. That is what we need. We need them to be nice and strong, and then we can take them apart and we can put them in bigger pots. It's not going to hurt them. They're very resilient. Basil is one of the most resilient. So are tomatoes. So I tend to plant my tomatoes a little thick as well. But it's okay to transplant once they are at that size. You don't want to do it too soon. And you don't want to wait until their roots are all twisted up and all root bound in those little seed pods too. So it's very important that you do it at the right time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell so you'll be notified every time I upload another video. Don't forget to leave comments below as well. That helps me to grow my channel. And until next time, stay healthy and be blessed.